Welcome to Questions from the Web with Graham Home and Dr. Andrew Wilson. This week's question is from Anna.
Spring selling season. So I'm just sort of, I guess, paraphrasing her question here, but basically Anna's saying that she's heard from everyone that you should always sell in the boom in the spring selling season, but she's got some valid points, Doc, that would it not be more competitive? Would there not be more stock on the market for people to shop for if I am listing my home to sell in the spring selling season? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we have two selling seasons, Graham, spring and autumn. It's got nothing to do with the weather.
Are we sure? Are you sure the houses don't look better or feel better? Or
No. Not spring fever. It's not spring fever. It's spring selling season.
Right.
But people tend to think it's a weather-related effort. It's not. The point of the spring selling season is that the middle of the year is holiday time, not just here but overseas as well. But the middle of the year, even though it's cold, is we do have significant holiday periods in the middle of the year, and because of that, that's when people start to think about what they're going to do in terms of their housing choices, buying or selling. So, of course, what they think about is, let's get this all done by Christmas. We want to buy and sell and buy by Christmas. So that's what generates the spring selling season. And typically, it's you'll find it's better for sellers in the early part of spring, and better for buyers in the late part of spring because there are more properties that are available, you have sellers that are quite keen to get the deal done by the end of the year. So the closer you get to the end of the year, the more motivated sellers are, and the more properties there are typically listed early in the year. There are fewer properties for sale, and that means more competition amongst buyers. So that's how spring works. It's all about getting the deal done by the end of the year, but they're both buying and selling in that period typically, if you understand what I mean, Graham. And it's a question of, so it's a question of whether you sell early and then buy, or whether you buy early and then sell. And that can depend on how the market's performing, But there's no doubt that end of the year drive is what, the get it done by Christmas is what drives the spring selling season. And then, everybody's on holidays December, late December, January. And that's when they start thinking about, okay, let's, get up and about and do our buying and selling before the middle of the year.
Yep.
And that's when we have the autumn selling season, right? Which is the other selling season that we have, which is when all those decisions were made over the holiday period, the summer holiday period. And that's why you get, the autumn selling season, and then you get the winter break, and then the spring selling season. And you'll see that, and we're getting early signs of that now with listings starting to rise. Now, the question is whether they'll be a significant rise or just a blip. And that depends on confidence because, we've still got a lot of uncertainty in the market. People are still reading those negative headlines, so they might think, no, we're just going to wait a while. Maybe we'll wait till autumn next year. But as we said, there's a lot of positive indicators now, maybe just starting to have, buyers and sellers hedge their bets a little bit and think, well, we don't want to miss out. Maybe we should get into this market now. Once we get more consolidated data about where the market is heading, then that might drive more demand and supply in this spring selling season. But it's the old story, Graham. Really, you want to try to be buying and selling in the same market,
Absolutely.
Depending on, what level of price your property is. But it is all about, not waiting because you're trying to pick the high point or the low point. It's about finding the right property for you, whether you're an investor or an owner-occupier. Look for the right property. If you're buying to sell or selling to buy, make sure you do it in the same market,
Well, there you go. And hopefully that helps.